Jenna Ortega is basically the queen of Netflix nowadays, with Wednesday breaking all types of records. But delve deep into the repertoire of your Netflix knowledge. You, Season 2. Remember Jenna Ortega playing Ellie? What if she comes back for Season 4?
Think I can manage that.
It sounds like a stretch, but hear me out. I'm Joey C. Let's go! In case you forgot, Jenna Ortega's character, Ellie, lived in the same Los Angeles apartment as Joe Goldberg, or Will as he was known for that brief period of time in Season 2. She lived with her sister Delilah, and her and Joe developed kind of a sibling relationship throughout the season. Several times, Joe even postpones his plans of stalking his love. That's gonna get a bit confusing. He does this so he can protect Ellie from a disgusting grown man named Henderson, who has a really gross affinity for little girls. In one of Joe's very few redeeming qualities, he interrogates Henderson right before he kills him, and even gets a confession out of him. But we're getting off track, let's keep moving on. All that to say that Joe and Ellie really bonded, and he really cared for her. As much as a delusional homicidal maniac can, I guess.
I'm the problem.
Unfortunately, Love Quinn actually kills Ellie's sister Delilah. In an effort to save her relationship with Joe, he gives Ellie money that he got selling counterfeit books and tells her to go east after all the stuff that went down. But needless to say, she's not Joe's #1 fan at the end of the season.
I'm already bored.
So let's talk about how all this kind of rolls into Season 4. Look, we've all watched the trailers. Things aren't looking good for Joe right now. He killed Love Quinn and gave up his baby. He went to London and picked up yet another identity because the past versions of him have jumped countryside and burned in house fires. But anyways, he upgraded, man. He went from bookseller to full-blown university teacher. Is he qualified for that? I don't think he's qualified for that. He found a beautiful woman who he's resisting, and a ton of entitled, privileged friends. Speaking of friends, we're friends, right? I don't have a lot of those, but you could be one by hitting the red subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. There are two huge differences for Joe this season. One, there's someone out there called the Eat the Rich Killer who's out to get, well, the rich.
This is gonna be fun.
And two, most importantly to our conversation about Ellie, Joe has a stalker. In the trailer, we see him getting a text from someone that says, "Nice jacket, brown's your color." Then we see Joe walk into what we can assume is the university office and find the most horrific collage of all time. It's basically the back of Joe's murder baseball card. And then a new text says, "Hello, Joe. Do I have your attention now?" Oh, very spooky. Could it be Marianne from Season 3? Love Quinn did tell her about Joe's murderous past in the season's finale. She fled to Paris. That's close enough to London. But let's look at the Stalker's collage from the You Season 4 trailer. Beck and Peach from Season 1 are up there. The house fire that Joe pretended to die in is up there too. And so is Natalie from Season 3. But if you look closely, a lot of what is up there is from You Season 2. Forty's death is up there a few times, but Henderson's death covers at least 1/3 of the board. Remember, Henderson sucks, but Ellie idolized him for a while. That's important. We'll come back to that later. Marianne only knew Joe Goldberg as Joe Goldberg. She could have searched his New York history if she was tech savvy the way Ellie is. But how could she possibly know about the things he did in Los Angeles under the name Will Bettelheim? The only person alive that would connect Will Bettelheim's actions to Joe Goldberg is, you guessed it, Ellie. Also, many of the articles are up there multiple times, but there are only a few articles that are only there once. And trust me, I've scoured this board more times than you can count. I'm not Joe levels of crazy, but I'm certainly getting there. One of them reads, "Bibliophile beware. LAPD warns of a surge in counterfeit books." How did Joe pay Ellie, you ask? Money he got from selling counterfeit books, dude! And the disappearance of Delilah and Ellie is put on the wall one time, with Ellie's picture hidden behind a bunch of carefully placed books. Now, if I was Ellie, it would be too obvious to not put me and my dead sister's pictures on the board. But I wouldn't want to put it front and center anyhow. That's way too obvious. So hiding it carefully in the background is genius. Also, Joe told Ellie to go east. He had Florida in mind. But who's to say she stopped there? London's pretty much far east from Los Angeles as it gets. And look, we can theorize all we want, but you know whose opinion matters more than mine or yours does? Jenna Ortega's. Our girl has always kept the door open when it comes to returning to you. She told Teen Vogue in 2019 that if Ellie were to come back, she would want her to be even bigger and badass than before. She also talked about how amazing it would be to see Ellie come back and really take control of her life. She said that Ellie has, quote, so much potential and so much talent that she shouldn't waste it because of him. Him being Joe, obviously. Not me, Joe. I'm not a homicidal maniac. Let's move on. And I know what you're thinking. Whoa, she said that in 2019, man. Pre-COVID. That was like a million years ago. It still counts. Well, in late March of 2022, Jenna told Vulture that she's still a fan of the show and would, quote, love to come back as Ellie. She even said she was supposed to come back for a little of season 3, but she couldn't because of scheduling issues. And when we think about it, Wednesday was filmed in Romania from September 2021 to March 2022. You Season 4 was filmed in the UK from late March 2022, when Jenna told Vulture she wanted to return to the show, to late August 2022. The timeline works, man. So what do you folks think? Do you think Jenna Ortega's Ellie could be Joe Stalker in Season 4? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.